Episode 7, UnWatchable. Look at that, 7th episode. Wow. I'm in a very pissed off mood, as you could tell. If you have tuned into UnWatchable today, just wanting some rational Mets talk, wanting some analytics about how to replace Pete Alonso, the next step, get off this episode because you're not on the right one. You're not on the right podcast. Get off. I'm also going to say this. If you are under 15, get off this video. There's your warning. There's going to be a lot of uncensored stuff in here that I'm going to say. So there's your warning. Please get out if you're under 15. Let's just dive into it, shall we? Let's just dive into it with this bullshit that I had to witness today and here at work today. Pete Alonso signs with the Baltimore Orioles, a team that he was meeting with when it came down to his winter meetings. He was meeting with the Red Sox. He met with them yesterday, which, funny enough, we're going to get into why it's so funny. And today he met with the Orioles, and he agreed on the Orioles. They offered him the years that he wanted. I guess the money was there too, which, I mean, can you blame him? Which, as I'm going to explain in this episode, and I'm going to lose it 1,000 times. This one pains me so much because Alonso is my favorite Met. Pete Alonso is my favorite New York Met. Everybody will tell you. I have his jersey hanging up over there on the side that my girlfriend got me for my birthday last year. Babe, if you are listening to this, with all due respect, I don't even think I could wear that jersey. It could be hung up in a thing of glass because I just can't, just can't pain myself to wear it. So, another day. This is, by the way, another day. This is a horrible week to be a Met fan. You lose Diaz yesterday to a fucking division rival, Los Angeles Dodgers, and you lose Alonso today. How? Just tell me how do the Mets not match Diaz's contract with the Dodgers? How do you not just match that? Or just beat it? How do you not beat it by 3 fucking million years or another year? How do you not beat that? And how about this? How do you not even throw, I'm just going to jump right into it. How do you not throw an offer at Pete Alonso? There was never an offer made by the Mets to him. The Mets said, like the fucking dumbasses that they are. David Stearns has got to be the dumbest fucking GM on the face of the planet. This is horrible. Just fucking terrible. So Pete signs a 5-year deal, $155 million. He's getting paid yearly $31 million, which makes him the highest paid first baseman by annual value. Average annual value. That is crazy. Which, by the way, speaking of first baseman, the Mets do not have a first baseman. There is no first baseman for the Mets. They're saying Jeff McNeil at first base. I'm good. I'm good. You could put a fucking garbage can there, and it'd be just as useful as Jeff McNeil. Maybe Mark Vientos, too. That useless fuck as well. Just how? How do the Mets not match a 5-year deal? You want to know why? Because David Stearns is the cheapest scumbag on the face of the fucking planet. He doesn't care, doesn't want to spend money. He thinks that he is Billy Bean in Moneyball. Fuck that movie. Fuck Brad Pitt. Fuck Jonah Hill. Fuck that money. Fuck Moneyball. Fuck the movie. David Stearns, you are failing. And you are taking a team and running it down a fucking hill. You are doing such a horrible job that at this point in time, a garbage can can replace you and be just as good. This is horrible. As if losing Diaz yesterday wasn't enough. You lose Alonso today. In the span of 2 days, which, oh my God, by the way, Met fans, on December 8th, when Juan Soto last year in 2024 signed the deal with the Mets, which, again, horrible. We're going to get into Juan Soto on this video. Met fans on December 8th are praising it. Happy 1-year deal. What happens 2 days later? What happens on the 9th and the 10th? You lose Edwin Diaz on the 9th, and you lose Pete Alonso on the 10th. That's going to be a happy moment too? That's going to be a happy moment for us? This week is going to go down as the worst week in Mets history. And you know what? I really thought, and I said it yesterday, that the money that they saved from the Nimmo contract would go into Alonso's salary, would go into Diaz's salary. No. David Stearns does not give a shit about us. The Mets, Steve Cohen and David Stearns, have flipped us off again. They do not care. And we're going to get into it, why I say they don't care. But first and foremost, Pete Alonso, in a prove-it type of year contract, proves himself. Like I said yesterday, 38 home runs, 41 doubles, 126 RBIs, broke the Mets home run record, and it is not good enough to get him a new contract. The Mets never even tried to offer him a new contract. They literally said, and I have it written down over here somewhere, Mets never bothered to offer Alonso a contract. No wonder why he left. And again, I don't think Alonso wanted to leave. I think he wanted to stay. But when the money is there and the years are there, you cannot sit back and wait on a team. And this goes far past Stearns and Cohen. More past Stearns, though. Because Pete Alonso has been jerked off since 2022. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to read you some dates. March 22nd, 2022. 2022. I'm so pissed off I can't even speak. 2022. Mets and Pete Alonso 1-year deal avoiding salary arbitration. January 13th, 2023. Mets and Pete Alonso come to another 1-year deal, $14.5 million during the arbitration period. January 11th, 2024. 1-year deal, $20.5 million avoiding salary arbitration. And before that, in November, he was tenured by David Stearns. But again, in a prove-it year, I didn't even mention the other one. February 5th, 2025, Mets and Pete Alonso, 2-year deal, opt out after the first one. Well, technically it was a 1-year deal because Pete Alonso is gone. Now, I am not throwing all those. Now, again, I'm not, he had a chance to sign a 7-year deal. He had a chance to come back on a 7-year deal after the 23 season, but the sides weren't successful. That is more has to do with Boris than Alonso, but Alonso, fire Boris, please. He's a fucking useless fat fuck. But you can see where I'm trying to get at here. You had since 22 to sign him to a year. You had 23 to sign him. You even had till 24, even when you rejected the 7-year deal, which I don't know why he did. Well, like I said before, Boris had a big thing to play with it. You still had chances to sign him to some sort of contract instead of these 1-year bullshits that you fucking gave him. And that 2-year deal to get him back, you won that one, David Stearns, but you are losing. You are losing the Mets faster than you could say fuck. You are losing them like crazy. Which brings me to another point. Does this ownership give a fuck? Does Steve Cohen really care? Because I'm starting to think he doesn't. He got the casino improvement, and that's all he's caring about. There is nothing going back into this team. This scumbag, and yeah, Cohen's a scumbag, promised us a World Series 3 to 5 years. Nothing. David Stearns, while apparently he's a Mets fan, he's not, by the way. He's fucking not. He's definitely either an A's fan or a Brewers fan. I'm leaning towards Brewers. Is destroying this fucking team. He has signed nobody. He is losing this team. Which brings me to my next point. There is no other next point. I'm so fucking pissed off. I'm talking erratically. That's how frustrated I am right now. I've got to slow down. So I apologize about that. The Wilpons are back, guys. The Wilpons are back, and they are worse than ever. What do I mean by that? Well, take a good look at this ownership. Does Cohen care? To me, he doesn't. This was about him getting his fucking casino. This was his casino. He does not give a fuck. Because if he did, he would have stopped Diaz from walking. He would have stopped Alonso from going. You're telling me, with Cohen's money, he has more money than God, that he can't sign these two players? That's bullshit. Bullshit. And you know what? A lot of it, not a lot, but this falls on Stearns. Yesterday, you could have outbid the Dodgers instead of saying, we have some money, we have some wiggle room. Go fuck yourself, David Stearns. Go fuck yourself, and you should be fucking ashamed. You've been jerking Alonso off forever. This is the direction this team is heading in. All Cohen gives a shit about is that fucking casino. David Stearns thinks he's Billy Beane from the movie Moneyball, and he's not. The Mets couldn't match Diaz's contract. They couldn't beat it, and they can't match Alonso's. And he's walking. The best home run hitter the Mets have. And I don't want to hear about Juan Soto. The best home run hitter has just walked to the Baltimore fucking Orioles. Are you fucking kidding me? Last year, Cohen stepped in when it came to Pete Alonso and got him back. This year is, whoa. It's exactly what the fuck it is. Because you're so fucking stupid and wound up on this high about your fucking casino that nobody cares about. You're a fucking disgrace, Steve Wilpon. Uncle Stevie, that's out the window. Because if you were still Uncle Stevie, as we were saying, you would have signed these players to contracts and you would be going after real fucking winners. You have $4 billion to your name, and you're telling me you can't sign them. But you have no problem giving Juan Soto $765 million. You're a fucking joke. David Stearns, you're a bigger fucking joke. How about this one? Again, if I'm looking this way, I'm sorry, the computer is on the other side. This one. Could someone check if David Stearns was adopted by the Wilpons? Could someone check if Steve Cohen is secretly a brother of the Wilpons? Did the Wilpons have kids and end up being David Stearns and Steve Cohen? Maybe they fucking did. This is just pathetic. Absolutely fucking pathetic. As I scroll down on the laptop over here, there's the photo that pops up that the Mets didn't even bother to make Pete Alonso a contract. That is a fucking joke. This man has proven himself in every single year he's played in Queens. Every single season. And guess what? On a bad year like everyone mentioned that he had in 2024, he's still going to give you 35 homers and 90 RBIs. That's pretty good to me. Scumbag motherfuckers. This is just pathetic. How do you not match Diaz and Alonso's offers? It's basically like you don't care. Which, like I said before, they don't care. And what do I mean by that? Well, has Cohen really proven himself yet? Does Cohen really care? Because he doesn't. He's wound up on that fucking casino. And David Stearns thinks that this is Moneyball. And it's not. Fuck that movie, like I said. This is not the Milwaukee Brewers, David. This is the New York Mets. Which, this is just as sad as it can be. Because Pete Alonso, supposed to be a Met for life. Him and Nimmo supposed to be Met for lives. Which, by the way, the Mets don't have any players for life. Any player who started their career with the Mets, never really ended their career with the Mets. Who's the forever player for the New York Mets? I am serious. Who's the forever player? David Wright? That's a sad story. Jose Reyes got traded, got injured, got hurt. That's a sad story. Wright always injured, like I mentioned before. Who's the forever player? Brandon Nimmo, traded to Texas. Which, by the way, you don't think something's a little odd about this? Because I was talking to my father, and he mentioned this, and I can't get it out of my head. Do you think when Cohen called Nimmo, asking him to waive his no-trade clause, do you think Nimmo asked, are you bringing back Alonso and Diaz? And you think Stearns was like, well, probably not. Is that why he waived his no-trade clause? Because Nimmo loved this organization. I still can't get my head out of that trade. And the money they saved from that is just being used to what? Nothing? It's not being used to nothing? Because clearly not. You don't want to spend money. You give Carl Edwards Jr. a minor league deal. Dick Lovelady, this fucking team. Unbelievable. Maybe Stearns has something. Stearns has always had something against Pete Alonso. It's just obvious. He's always had something against Alonso. Does he not like the fact that he opted out after the Mets lost in the playoffs? Why? He was asked about it when the season was over. He's allowed to opt out. Are you upset with Edwin and Pete because they opted out? Is that what it is? You have something against him? You have a grudge? Okay, fuck you. They don't like you as a general manager. And I find it so funny. When Juan Soto's first year as a Met, which, by the way, I didn't want this fucking guy. He's useless to me. Because here's the thing. In 2024, with no Juan Soto, you were 2 wins away from the World Series. David Stearns took the OMG Mets and fucking destroyed them. They never built off that momentum they had. Yes, you lost in the National League Championship Series. You had so much momentum, though. People had so much high expectations for the season coming in, and you couldn't even build off the season prior in that confidence you had. You were a roller coaster, David. You were like this. And then in the middle of the season, when June 13th hit, it was fucking downhill like this, and it's going to keep going downhill. When you're signing players like Carl Edwards Jr., like I said, who the fuck is that? I know he's played for the Cubs, but who the fuck is that? It's going down the fucking drain. You took that team 2 wins away with no Juan Soto, and you destroyed it. You seriously destroyed that team. They did not build on that. They tore it down this year. Grimace, gone. OMG, signed with the fucking Padres. Maybe letting Jose Iglesias walk was a bad mistake. Maybe you should have just given him 2 fucking years. He would have been a reliable infielder. Like, am I crazy? If you go back to that game, 160, when Brett Beatty strained his oblique, Ronnie Mauricio was sitting on the bench for 6 weeks. Mark Vientos was benched. Am I crazy for saying we put Jose Iglesias at third base? Maybe that series of the outcome is different? Am I crazy for thinking that? Because I don't know what it was about Jose Iglesias, because he provided some sort of leadership that the Mets didn't have. And all those rumors about Francisco Lindor being captain, that ship has sailed because they're talking about shipping him out now. You might as well, because who wants to fucking be there at this point? And like I said, back to Juan Soto. You bring him in for 2025. Has a slow start, picks up his rhythm, has a Juan Soto type of year. Career high in home runs. Yippee-ki-yay. No fucking playoffs. Why does that matter? There was not much clutch in him either. Like, for instance, how many times in that Miami series did he come up with a chance to do some clutch? And he didn't do it. There was a lot of times. Yes, I know he was 2 bases shy of a 40-40. Who gives a shit? Him and Lindor, a shaky relationship. Does Lindor go next? Seriously, does Lindor leave next? And it's so funny because when I saw that on Instagram, I'm reading the comment right here, actually. Surprise, surprise. You're really surprised that people are leaving after Soto's first... The fuck does that even say? This guy fucked up a word. I don't know what I was supposed to say, but Soto's... I'm just going to say presence. Actually, no, appearance. Sounds better. Soto's appearance to the Mets. He has a rocky relationship with every team he's played for. Are you surprised why everyone's leaving? No, I'm not. Because everyone losing their mind about the Juan Soto signing. And we couldn't even make the playoffs. And by the way, it goes back to what I said. You did not need Juan Soto. You didn't. Juan Soto got you nowhere near the playoffs. You could say, oh, well, Nick, all they had to do was take the series from the Miami Marlins and they're in the playoffs. No, they didn't fucking deserve it. They didn't fucking deserve it. When you use the most pitchers in that fucking year, you used 46 pitchers. And guess what? If they were good from AAA, these, like, oh my God, what the fuck was his name? Rico Garcia. Rico Garcia was good. You DFA'd him twice. Not once, twice. The second time was to keep Ryan Stanek on the roster, the most appeared Met in that 2025 campaign. And what happens? You put him in that situation in game 162, and he gives up the runs. That is what you did. If you would have just got rid of Stanek and kept Garcia, there's your right-handed reliever for that fucking game. But no, you chose the David Stearns path. You're so quick to DFA fucking players. And again, keeping Ryan Stanek on that roster. That was the fault of management. That was the fault of the general manager not being able to accept their faults. That was on them. And again, I wish I had a fucking clip of it. When Alonso came up in that game 162 situation in the 8th inning. I said to everyone around me, if Patrick was on the call with me right now, he would back me up on this because I said it. We came up to bat in the 8th inning. I said, this may be his last Mets at bat. And lo and behold, it fucking was. It was his last Mets at bat. It really was. And I fucking called it. I said it's going to be his last Mets at bat. And after he flied out, well, if you want to go back, the 117 mile per hour hit that came off his bat. Oh my God, I wish that went out and tied the game. Pat told me, don't worry, he's going to be back. Well, he's gone. He went to the fucking Orioles, dude. And you know what? It's only, I'm really confident now that Stearns is going to be fired. Well, honestly, I don't know how confident I am. I want to say I'm really confident, but Cohen clearly does not give a fuck. He does not give a fuck about this organization. When he bought this team, he probably had one fucking eye for this team. Just build something to make more money. Why don't you go fuck yourself, Steve? Uncle Stevie, you're a fucking joke. David Stearns, to bring him in, while he's supposedly a Met fan, he never was. Not bringing him in. Terrible. Terrible. Like I said yesterday, I will give him credit for 2024. I will. But this year, no. You get nothing. You get fucking nothing, David. You get absolutely nothing. Which, by the way, speaking of pitching, even though we weren't, but go into pitching real quick. Just as one thing. The Dodgers are interested in getting Screwball. How funny would that fucking be? It's just so funny how the Mets have no fucking players who started their career and ended with them. There's one. Ed Kranepool. That's it. Pete Alonso has broken every single record the Mets hold, probably. Probably. Why the fuck am I saying probably? Fucking idiot. He breaks Strawberry's record in August. Has a really good year. A step up from the 24 year. Again, an approve-it-year contract. And it just wasn't enough to get him a new contract with the Mets. And it was a joke. It was a total fucking joke. And it just goes on and on and on with this fucking team. Like I said, clearly ownership has not changed this fucking team. But going over Pete Alonso and his Pete Alonso season he had with the Mets. Like I said, 126 RBIs, 38 home runs, 41 doubles. Not enough to propel him to get a new contract with the Mets. Because David Stearns thinks he's smarter than everybody else. You might as well just bring in Josh Bell. Bring him in, have him play first base. Can't wait to see him hit 210 with this fucking team. Terrible. David Stearns, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself for not caring. And all we hear from him, all the fucking time is that, oh, well, this offseason looks probable. He talks like a fucking moron with that dumb fucking smile he has. Like, I swear to God, somebody go up to him and just knock him out. Please go up to him and just knock him out. I can't stand that smile. He smiles like Francisco Lindor when they're collapsing. He's smiling so fucking much. Someone hit him in the face. I'm not trying to provoke violence or anything, but seriously, something has got to change with this team. This team is on a recipe for disaster. You're putting Jeff McNeil at first base, and you're putting Mark Vientos. That's going to be the platoon now. Mark Vientos and Jeff McNeil. When Vientos is playing first, McNeil is going to be in the fucking outfield. This fucking team, dude, is shaping up to be just one of the worst teams, in my opinion. And honestly, this offseason is the worst the Mets have had. So far. I will say so far. But do you really think right now they're going to get Cody Bellinger? Do you really think they're going to get Kyle Tucker with the way they're moving, not willing to spend money? No. The offer they threw at Kyle Schwarber? Nothing. They're not going to do shit. And this team is not going to sniff the playoffs. Let's get a little on Pete Alonso. Let's move to the, if you want to call it, positive side of this video about Pete Alonso. who was a unbelievable, just unbelievable. He was a true Met. Played every day. Gave you everything he got. Yes, the throwing was a problem, but he gave you everything he had. That 3-run homer against Milwaukee, you tell me that's not cemented in the Mets history book? The fact that he surpassed Darryl Strawberry? The fact that he led the National League in doubles in 2022? The fact that he's hit 34-plus home runs, not shortened by COVID, in every single season is not enough to have him back. Well, I guess not. Pete, maybe next time you got to hit 68 home runs. I guess that's what it is next time. Because these scumbags, man, unbelievable. And by the way, speaking of cementing stuff in Mets history books, December 9th and December 10th, 2025. Cement that into the Mets book. Cement that. When the Mets allowed Diaz to go to the Dodgers and they allowed Pete to go to the Orioles. Fuck December 8th. Fuck that shit. You can have it. Oh, they signed Juan Soto. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And by the way, 2 days afterwards, they lost 2 great players. There you go. Hey, at least we have Juan Soto. At least we got Juan Soto, right? Oh, yes, we have Juan Soto. Who fucking cares at this point? Who fucking cares? Because I know I don't. There's a very, very high possibility that I don't even watch a game this year. There is a very high chance that I don't even fucking watch it. I will focus more on the Knicks and the Devils. Which, by the way, I've got to stop fucking around and do videos about them. I'm sorry. But seriously, I've got to stop. I will turn this into more Devils than anything else. Which, by the way, they finally won a fucking game last night, those scumbag Devils. Finally! The Jets collapsed, so they're fucking done. The Knicks won yesterday, too. My parlay hit. Woo! Only positive. Fuck it. Let's go back to Pete Alonso's 2024 year for the Mets. 34 home runs, 88 RBIs. His lowest in each category. Like I said, on a bad year, he's going to give you 34 home runs, 90 RBIs. It took them to when players were reporting to spring training to come to a fucking agreement, which David Stearns, congratulations, it worked out. You got him. But you're losing. You're losing. You gave him a 2-year, it's really a 1 year, but they gave him a 2-year prove-it deal. And I think he proved it pretty well. Now, Met fans, let's all be real for a second. I think we all knew Pete was opting out in July with the season he was having. After April, people already saying, oh, if Pete Alonso keeps having the season, he's going to opt out. Well, yeah, he opted out, all right. But like I said, maybe David Stearns has something against players who opt out of their contracts so he can have an excuse not to bring them back and bring in former Milwaukee players and think that they are the future. Because again, David Stearns has no clue what the fuck he's doing with this organization. You signed Devin Williams. You've got Marcus Semien. Who the fuck else do you have? Nobody. You have nobody. You have Juan Soto in right. Tyrone Taylor in center. Who's playing left field? Beatty's at third. Lindor's at shortstop unless he decides to, force a trade or some shit. Marcus Semien at second base. You're really going to tell me that there's a platoon of Jeff McNeil and Mark Vientos at first base? I'd rather have my heart penetrated than watch those two dumb fucks. We already knew Vientos couldn't field. This is a fucking mess this year. Also, I want to go back to that game 162 in Miami, which it's crazy now. We have three times the Marlins have beat the Mets, trying to get into the playoffs. How much of game 162 was Carlos Mendoza's idea with the bullpen day? Was David Stearns calling him in the dugout like, hey, no, you got to go with this reliever. You got to go with that reliever. Because when Brooks Raley got a runner on, you had to forcibly yank him for the game. No, you should have left Brooks Raley in, got him out of the inning. Maybe it still would have been 0-0. Now, again, you can't win a game tied 0-0, but you also can't lose. Just downright horrible. Just downright fucking horrible. Like I said 1,000 times, Pete had the prove it year. He had the fucking prove it year. But they just didn't want to go past 3 years, whatever. Again, what is up with the 3-year deals? Edwin Diaz, 3 years. You couldn't even match it. Pete Alonso, 3 years. Walks. Kyle Schwarber, 3 years. Goes to the Phillies. Signs back with the Phillies, I should say. Which, again, I saw that coming a mile away. I said he's not going to leave Philly. You fucking serious? Devin Williams, 3 years. That's your new closer. That's your new closer? Really? That's terrible. That is terrible. But like I said, man, the Wilpons are back. And they're worse than ever. Steve Cohen, before the start of the 25 season, you called on the fans to pack out the ballpark. We did just that. And you proceeded to fuck us. Well, the team proceeded to fuck us. But you're fucking us right now. And David Stearns is doing it too. Both fucking us right now. This is 2 days in a row you spat at Met fans and shoved your dick up their ass. That is exactly what you did. David Stearns does not have a care in the world about this. He does not give a fuck. He's going to find some Milwaukee replacement to replace Alonso at first base, which you can't replace Pete Alonso, by the way. It is impossible to replace the fucking polar bear. It's impossible. It is impossible to replace Edwin Diaz. I don't care what the numbers are with Robert Suarez, Pete Fairbanks, and Devin Williams. Everyone says they signed Devin Williams for what he has done over the thought of his career. That doesn't matter when you've proven that you can't pitch with the Yankees out in the Bronx. What the fuck is going to make it look like he's going to pitch in Queens with the Mets? Because in my fucking opinion, it's not going to happen. I can already fucking picture it. Blowing games. Why did you get David Robertson? That could be your closer better than this fucking loser. Just fucking terrible. Just miserable. Just miserable. The waste of money that is going into players. For instance, like Frankie Montas last year. That was a waste of $34 million, only to have you DFA him. This Devin Williams deal, you could have thrown that extra money you gave him into Edwin Diaz and had a reliable closer. You could have taken some of that money else too and fucking gave it to Alonso. Why were the Mets so hesitant to go above 3 years? I don't understand it. How about this? You could have given him 5 years. He has an opt-out after the second year, and you give him a player option after the fourth. How about that? That is a team-friendly deal, in my opinion. After the second year, you can opt out. After the fourth year, we have a decision to accept it or decline it, or tender or not. You know what I mean? But you're so... It's like you have an obsession with the number fucking 3. You have an obsession with number 3. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It is not long until Lindor leaves. Just fucking watch Lindor leave. Jeff McNeil, who we all thought was getting traded, is now playing first base in left field, and Mark Vientos is going to be playing first base as well. Again, these are not suitable replacements for Pete Alonso. It is not. Cody Bellinger, maybe the defense, but can he really put up Pete Alonso numbers? No, absolutely not. This is by far as low as you could fucking be, David Stearns. This is disgusting because now you have everybody calling for your job. And you know what? I think Met fans are starting to realize that maybe Cohen is not the right owner. I don't think he is anymore. They always said, you got to trust Papa Cohen. You got to trust King Cohen. He is no fucking king now. He's just another fucking loser. Another fucking imitation of the Wilpons. And David Stearns is worse than Billy Epler. He's seriously worse than Billy Epler. The 2022 trade deadline was better than this shitbag of a fucking offseason you're having right now. Because this right here, this fucking offseason is as low as you could be. Stop saying you're broke, because you're fucking not. grab your dick and sign a big name. Because like I said yesterday, he has a lot to fucking prove, and he hasn't proven it. He's just failing us more. They're not going to sign Cody Bellinger. They're not going to sign Kyle Tucker. They're not going to re-sign Griffin Canning with how great he was this year till he fucking hurt his Achilles. That's it. That is fucking it. That is the way the 2026 Mets will never make the playoffs. Horrible. Supposed to be Met for life. Pete Alonso. Supposed to be Met for life. Brandon Nimmo. Diaz was supposed to finish his career here. And you let 2 out of those 3 players walk. David Stearns should be fucking ashamed of yourself. You are nothing. You are nothing. You are not Billy Bean. This is not Moneyball. You have money. Fucking spend it. Stop dicking around with the fans. Stop dicking around with them. And stop dicking around when players. You play stupid games. You win stupid fucking prizes, David. You win stupid fucking prizes. This year, this 2026 New York Mets team is going to look like complete shit. It's going to look like absolute complete shit. And like I said, there's a good possibility I don't even watch a game this year. Guys, that is the end of this because I'm just going to frustrate myself more, and it's not worth losing my voice over this. So guys, take care, and I will catch you in episode 8.